just moving on, Joe, I know one of the things that's really important in this industry is leadership. The leadership actually helps, those individuals succeed. And, some companies, traditional companies, have great success, some have failed. The same applies in network marketing. Some companies do phenomenal jobs and some, have a hard time. So what I'd like to ask you, especially for individuals who are looking at getting involved in this industry, or again, individuals who have been in the industry, but they're not getting the results, what are some of the characteristics, in your perspective, that identify a company that's a major player in the industry?
Yeah. So it comes down to people. And, there is incredible, great marketing techniques today. You can reach out to the whole world now, and systems, to reach out to great people and expand your business. But it's just not comes down to marketing. It really comes down to leadership. And nothing will grow in a family, in business, in life without leaders, without leadership abilities. You look through the process of mankind, womankind, right? Mm-hmm. It's the people that we most remember, that are remembered in our societies, are people that are great leaders, that have coached and mentored people in their beliefs in how to live life to the fullest. It's not the people that build buildings necessarily. It's always the people that are coaching, mentoring, and sharing that knowledge, that God-given knowledge to other people so they can lead fulfilling lives. So I have got 4 leadership principles that I've lived by, that I've been congruent, which I recognize I do that in my own family, my own life, and I expand that into the business. So the first one as a leader is you've got to lead by example. You cannot tell people to do things that you're not prepared to do or you're not doing. And I see that all the time. You see them on stage, people that may have done it before, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that are not doing today. So let me ask you a question. If you've got a couple great, beautiful sons, right? Tate and Jordan. And growing up, you're telling them, don't smoke. And you're smoking. That's not congruent, right? So they're thinking, my dad's telling me not to smoke, but he's smoking. They'll end up probably, because of that incongruency, they're going to challenge that belief that you're giving them, because you're totally the opposite, right? So in business, you got to be the speed of the leader. If you want to earn the 6 figures and 7-figure incomes, you've got to lead by example. You got to be congruent in every single way, by what you dress, what you read, what you talk about, and more importantly, your actions. Because the speed of the leader is always the speed of the group is always based on the speed of the leader. All right? You can't expect people to do what you're not doing, and that's congruency. So the greatest leaders in our life today are the ones that are constantly in congruency with leading by example. From our politicians, the most respected ones, from our business leaders, and growing, and that's what we're doing in network marketing. We're growing our own community, right? And when we grow our community, it's always based on leading by example. Second rule is you got to not only lead by example, but you got to always follow through with your promises. And this is a difficult one, because in sales, because that's what we're doing. In sales, and we're always selling, no matter if you're looking for a relationship, or if you're looking for a job, you have to develop these sales skills. And what ends up happening as human beings, we tend to tell people what they want to hear. Just look at our politicians. They're always telling us what they want to hear, but they don't follow through with their promises, a lot of them. And you can do something right for 9 years with someone and in a community, and you just do that one thing that with regards to promises and not following through your promises, that trust is gone. And when that trust is gone, that community is gone. Right? So I'll give you an example. In my team, I had a Russian group in the far east of Russia. Kept on bothering me, Joe, when can we get you here? So we developed a promotion, which was so out of reach, I thought, that they would never reach it, right? And it's way out in the far east of Russia. And I knew it would take me a couple of days just to get there. They called me up last September. I was in Hawaii. Joe, when are you coming? We did it. All right, so I promised them I would be there for at least 4 days. I was going to go there. So during my time for the next month, I'm trying to book a flight into Komsomolsk, Russia. And I can't get a flight time. And the nearest airport is Khabarovsk, Russia, which is a 7-hour drive or 10 hours by train. And so I couldn't get a flight. I knew there was an airport there, but why can't I get a flight? Well, I realized in Komsomolsk, Russia, they close down the airport in the wintertime. It gets too cold, right? Everything freezes up. So make a long story short, now I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to fly to Khabarovsk. All right, that's going to take me 21 hours with a couple of connections, maybe 29 hours. And then I got to jump on a train, literally jump on a train to go to Komsomolsk for another 10 hours, right? And for 4 days, that's going to be really tough on my body, right? Even though I'm really young, right? And I'm getting younger every day. So my thought process was, I got to cancel this. It's too tough for me. But because I made a promise, all right, I had to do it. And it was one of my greatest experiences going over there. So that's the second.
Fantastic.
Okay. The third one. So let me reiterate. First one is leading by example as a leader. Second one, always follow through with your promises, right? Always follow through with your promises. And the third one is you got to always lead with integrity. Tell the truth. When you're building your team, building your community, again, as human beings, we tend to want to exaggerate, tell people what they want to hear. So here's the challenge. As you're building your community, you start to forget what you told this team. And if you're sharing stories, that team, this team, and now your stories in your mind start to change, and maybe you'll go up in one area and say a totally different story that, is totally opposite to what you're telling people for years in another market, right? These things will always catch up to you. So always tell the truth. And that's also with the company, is there's a principle called the law of decline. And what that means is, if you're not telling the truth, if you go against integrity, you fool around the compensation plan, you offer people things outside of the compensation plan to get you into the business, get them into the business, and you treat them as special compared to everybody else. When other people find out about that, again, the law of decline will come in. They will find out, and it'll make them feel inferior. They're not on the same level playing field, and that community will be destroyed. And then the last one is personal development. Is understanding as a leader, again, leading by example, understanding as a leader that to grow, you need to open up your beliefs, challenge your beliefs. You got to work on yourself every single day, and you've got to incorporate that into your team, all right? Because you're going to be dealing with different races, different cultures, different backgrounds, different religious beliefs, and you've got to be really congruent with challenging your beliefs of what you've been programmed to believe in, so you can allow yourself to grow as an individual. And that's what is a great part of this business.
Fantastic.